Hi everyone, welcome back to Good or Good Enough. So I finally saw the new Final Destination Bloodlines, and here's my little review. Okay, so this film is a lot of fun. It's kind of mixed, I guess. People are saying how are they going to tie this into the recent Final Destination films, how they're going to make this have kind of a logical connection and not just more of like a money grab kind of a plot, but an actual addition to the story. So it says, plagued by a recurring violent nightmare, a college student returns home to find the one person who can break the cycle and save her family from the horrific fate that inevitably awaits them. This film continues to change what we expect. Unknown actors, so it's not distracting. The characters do work well together. It definitely keeps you interested the whole time. Everything catches you off guard. And it's nicely paced. So yeah, and with that being said, we'll now get into spoilers for the film. So at the end, Stephanie and Charlie both do die in the end. This big train comes out of nowhere because of the penny, and yeah, so they both end up dying. Everyone ends up dying in this movie, and yeah, there's no after credit scene. It's just a contained story within itself. They both die. They figure out that someone has to die to kind of reset everything. So Stephanie ends up dying, and the brother brings her back to life. So after the one lady dies, she gets killed right here. Or well, actually a little later, but she ends up dying. And then this girl, Stephanie, drowns. He saves her, comes back, and they think they broke the cycle, I guess. And then the other lady dies. So then at the end, this guy tells them that you might not have actually died. And then they look at each other like, what are you talking about? So she's like, what? And then it turns out that, they're gonna die anyways, so that's a spoiler on that. And then before all that though, he goes to meet the aunt or the grandmother, I forgot. The lady who survived the incident years ago from the beginning. She grew really old and has been outrunning death forever. Then we also do finally figure out who this Bloodworth guy is. He was saved in that stratosphere or whatever, that big floating hotel at the beginning. He was in there and the girl saved him. So they all grew up and have been escaping death forever. And he just kind of leaves. But it's cool that he's been in the films forever. Yeah, and so those are all the spoilers. So now we're going to get into some of my favorite moments from the film. I have to say that I do like that pretty much all the actors are unknown. Sometimes it can be distracting when the actors are too known. It takes away from the story, I think. The hospital electromagnet scene is really crazy. This scene is too, you think he's gonna die the whole time. Like you think this is it, then he falls into fire, whatever, blah, blah, and then the next day they think he's dead, and then there he is, he's fine. That's so funny. Absolutely amazing scene. Totally gets you thinking. And then he keeps joking around and messing around that death isn't gonna get him. So they do all that, and then it's really funny. He starts doing all this stuff. Really hilarious. And then after all that stuff, the girl ends up getting hit by the ball, falling into the trash can, and then being put into the trash truck, the garbage truck. So funny, totally unexpected. And then they get her, and then she dies, of course. Squishes her little head. And then they all try to decide what to do. They figure out that one of them has to die. So the two brothers, which is hilarious, these two, so funny. I love that part of the movie. But they decide that one of them should die, I guess. So they start figuring out how or something. It's pretty funny. But they go to the hospital, find the doctor, Bloodworth, whatever. And then he tells them everything, and they both, that's when they find out someone has to die. So then they go do that, which leads to this crazy scene. You think the vending machine's gonna get him, and then they give him the peanuts one. It's so funny. Then you think that's gonna get him, and it doesn't. And then the machine turns on. And then he sees it, he's like, what is going on? So funny. This is so entertaining. It keeps you on your seat the whole time. On the edge of your seat. You're so like, you don't know what is gonna happen, and the twist hits you out of nowhere. Yeah, the machine's turning on and everything. And I love this scene, like the brothers thing is really awesome. I really like seeing that portrayal. He eats it, and then yeah, this is so funny that like they think that he's growing a tolerance to it, or he never was allergic, and then it turns out he is. But yeah, that was so funny. The jokes are really well done. They're not like out of nowhere. And then the machine turns on, and then then now what you thought was going to happen in Tattoo Parlor happens, and even more insane, like totally unexpected. And then wow, it's like, I mean, I think that's from Final Destination 5. I mean, this is so insane. And then finally the spring kills him. I mean, it's just so funny. It is so well done. Those are some of my favorite scenes. I don't know what else I liked. All the deaths were good. The end is cool. I really like that. I also like this, like that they seemingly kind of tied it back into the beginning in a way. So I took the scenes and I edited them together to kind of sync them up. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like a loop or whatever, or it's just like symbolism or like a reference to the beginning, I guess. But this is both scenes side by side. I will speed it up in case the copyright stuff kicks in. So they're both there, and at the beginning of the film, well, you'll see. So yeah, she has she drops the unlucky penny, and then it goes to here. Okay, this is the beginning of the movie. So I'll pause it just in case for copyright issues. So, beginning of the movie, back in the 60s or the 70s, whatever, before that incident happened. And then at the end of the movie, syncs up pretty well. Both red cars go flying by. It's almost like they reversed the shot and added the car in, so it's exactly the same, I think. And then they're going to the thing, and then we skip forward a little bit, and then she sees the red car, and then I don't know if it's supposed to be entirely like that, but I think it's just supposed to reference it, because the car in the other one drives behind her at the corner of the house, technically, like this way. And then the other shot from the beginning, I guess that's the house. And yeah, it's pretty cool. They synced it up. Obviously it is a different car, I guess, but yeah, they synced it up very well. And then the end scene is great too. Those are all my favorite scenes from the film. I know there's a few more, but now we're getting to some stuff I'd fix. I don't know if I'd really fix anything. I thought the only part that got a little borderline corny was when she was like, he's here, or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, like this part. Oh, he's about to make a move. And it's like, all right, yeah, he's about to make a move. Like, why? I don't know. That was a little corny. Like we kind of get this like a magic aspect to it, but they sometimes don't entirely acknowledge it to like to that extent that it's like a person, like an invisible entity, and then like she was about to make a move. I don't know. I just felt like it was just outline. Maybe she should have just done like a facial expression instead, and no dialogue. And that's pretty much all I would fix. This movie is self-contained. It's very good. Yeah, it's great. I really liked it. Totally entertaining. And the next is whether you should see it or stream it. I say definitely see it at the theater. The sound boomed the chairs a lot. It was great experience and really like you're fully immersed, and it was for this experience, for this movie, it was a good experience. So definitely see it at the theater, and if you can't, definitely stream it. And then my final thoughts, this film it continues to change what we expect. Unknown actors, again, it's not distracting. The characters work well together. The story is paced very well. The twists are out of nowhere. The ending is out of nowhere. Totally unexpected. But then, you know, you realize like, oh, yeah, of course. So yeah, and then with all that being said, this film is definitely good, and I highly recommend it. And that concludes this review of Final Destination Bloodlines. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And comment down below if this film worked for you and if this was a good installment for the 6th film in this franchise. And I'll see you in the next review.